Hi guys, how are you? It is the New Year's, or almost the New Year's, depending on when I manage to edit and post this. And as we all know, it is the time for everyone to set their goals for the next year, good habits, to start going to the gym. And also, we all know that in January, the gyms are usually full and people try to stick to their plans, to their schedules, to their diets, and so on. And then usually by the end of January and February, March, the gyms are already empty again and people kind of fall back into their patterns. And this is obviously something normal. This is what happens a lot, and people are like this. And I think that it is caused by the way that the people set goals for themselves, and also a lot because of the intention that is behind these goals. And I wanted to share with you some observations that I've made from myself and my friends, and also some tips that I came up with to actually stick to the goals that you set for yourself in the new year and generally in life, and how to not fall into the loop of procrastination and self-hatred that follows. I think first and the most important thing that we all need to figure out is why we want to reach the goal. First, the motivation behind it will be the fuel that will keep you going towards the new habit, the new goal that you want to set for yourself. And I would suggest for it to be something really meaningful for you. I will give it a really stupid example of losing weight. For example, you want to start going to the gym because you want to lose some weight. First of all, you have to ask yourself, do you want to lose the weight to look good because this is what society standards are? Or do you want to lose weight because you want to feel better? Or do you want to lose weight because you love your body and you want it to reach its full potential, full capacity? Or do you want to just move your body and feel more light and give it the exercise that it needs and so on? And I promise you that the goals that are set in the way of self-love are going to get more likely fulfilled than the ones that are rooted in self-hatred. So for example, if you start a new diet or a new exercise routine because you think that you're ugly, fat, don't fit into society's standards or whatnot, I would suggest in this case, in this example, if you want to start going to the gym and doing exercise, for example, first of all, base it in something that is more self-love driven rather than self-hatred driven. And then also try to find a way towards this goal which feels like fun. If you do exercise and, for example, you hate running, but you start running and you make yourself run every day, it will be based on self-flagellation or like just being violent towards yourself, and you can drag it on for a long time based on just forcing yourself with sheer force into that. But it will not stick forever. Like, you can only be a bully to yourself for a while before the pendulum will go back into the other direction and you will snap back and you will just sabotage yourself. So this is something that I used to be guilty of a lot, and I have several friends who also are like this still, and I see that in themselves, and I really feel like I actually made a lot of progress lately in this. And this is being too hard on yourself versus self-sabotage cycle. The people who are responsible and super achievers, A-type people, we really tend to be really hard on ourselves because this is how we were brought up. Most likely our parents gave us, or caretakers, gave us conditional love based on our achievements, on our grades and so on. And for example, like your mother was not content if you got a B instead of an A or something like that. So you learned to earn love based on your achievements. And when you don't achieve something, then you think that you don't deserve love. And so when you set goals, you may be really good with keeping them. But at some point, for example, if you only operate from the place of, I should do this, I need to do this because this is my duty, or I owe it to someone or something like that, you will fall back because you will push yourself into this cycle of self-bullying, self-forcing into doing something. You will continue doing this and doing this and doing this for a while, and then, you know, the law of action and reaction, I think it was Newton who discovered it. So when there is a force that fights back, this force of an equal power. If you apply pressure to a table, the table kind of gives you the same pressure back. And the same works with you. If you apply pressure on yourself for doing something that you internally don't know why you're doing or don't want to do, eventually you will start fighting back by sabotaging yourself. And I think this is where a lot of procrastination comes from, when you are not really convinced of the goal that you're doing, and when you base the striving towards that goal on just sheer willpower. One of my strengths, like, not to blow my own horn, but I was always capable of dragging myself through almost impossible things on sheer willpower, and everyone who knows me knows that. But I just know that this doesn't really work in the long run, because eventually you just break, because you cannot apply this much pressure on yourself without breaking. I suggest taking a new perspective on this and actually being kind to yourself. When you already have a goal and you have a motivation behind it, which is based on self-love and not on self-hatred, try to find fun ways of getting there and actually celebrating the small steps. When we introduce new habits, it really takes us a long time to reprogram ourselves, because it took us a long time to acquire the old habits. When we are replacing the old habits with the new ones, we'll fall back a lot. We will go back, spiral back into our own patterns. If you are calm and chill and everything is fine, you can stick to your new goal. But then, for example, if you're quitting smoking, like, everything will be fine, but then something stressful happens and you fall back and you smoke. And then a lot of people, when this happens, and this is step number 3, being kind to you when you don't really fulfill everything that you wanted to, or if you have a setback or like a plateau or something, being kind and admitting that you're human and you're not superhuman, and you will stumble down this road, and it's totally fine. Everyone does, and you should not be harsh to yourself about it, and celebrate even small steps. Focus on the achievements that you're making and positively reinforce the progress that you're making, instead of talking shit to yourself or flagellating yourself for things that you didn't do and you should have done better, which I'm really guilty of. Number 4, I would say, if you are trying to introduce new habits, or especially if you are trying to ditch some old habits that you find not serving to yourself anymore, I would suggest, first of all, setting some really small milestones, but realistic, that you can actually set to yourself to celebrate. So, for example, like, go a day without entering Instagram, or going to the gym for 1 hour once a week, instead of saying I will go like 2 hours every day. Set a realistic goal that you know that you will be able to fulfill, and then you will feel the dopamine of achieving this goal, cross the thing out of the list, and so on. And if you even feel motivated to overcome this in the end, I think it's wonderful. But if you just manage to reach your goal or almost reach your goal, it's anyway better than not having done anything at all. And I talked to some people about, for example, exercise routines. And I used to be the person who was really hard on themselves, and I would work out even when I would be sick. But recently I found out that what works for me much better is sneaking 5 to 10 minute workouts throughout the day, which doesn't really even feel like a workout. It's like something that I can do between waking up and my breakfast, and it really doesn't feel like something super challenging. But then when you do it consequently every day for a year, let's say, you see how your body changes without really putting that much effort into it. And I'm not really into, for example, going to the gym 3 times a week to work out for 1 hour. I would rather sneak this 5 to 10 minute workouts every day into my routine and have even better results, because if I go to the gym for 1 hour 3 times a week, and then one day, for example, I'm tired, the other day it's raining and I don't want to leave my house, and so on, it's not going to work out as well. So, and some people maybe hate working out as it is, and they prefer dancing, then just go and dance. And it is very like workout related, but somehow I just feel that it's one of the most prominent goals that people set for themselves, usually in the New Year's. And also I think it's one of the easiest examples to give. But of course, if it's like reading a book each month for you, like, don't set a goal of looking for the lost time of post in 1 month. You're not going to do it. If you've never read books, set yourself a goal of reading like a small book in 1 month, or like reading 10 books a year. It's not how our brain works. So I would say, if we should summarize all those 3 or 4 steps that I gave to you, is being gentle to yourself every step of the way, knowing why you're doing this, setting realistic goals, celebrating even small successes. And if you fall back on your old habits, don't beat yourself up, because even trying or even achieving something small is still better than not doing anything. So I hope that was somewhat helpful, and that maybe you catch up on this kinder approach to going towards whatever you want to go towards. I feel that in our world nowadays, a lot of people lack this kind of self compassion, and I hope that I have inspired you at least a little bit to be more of that. And as a result, being more compassionate with other people, because we are to our others as we are to ourselves. I hope that you are having / have had a really good holiday season, and I love you guys very much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to other people. Comment down below what are your New Year's resolutions and what do you plan to change in the New Year's. I have a lot of exciting stuff coming up, by the way. I will notify you very soon about some ideas and upcoming stuff that I have in my life, which might interest some of you. So yeah, I hope you're having a nice time. Love you very much. Lots of kisses and lots of love.